Hi guys, today I'll be reviewing The Cursed Child. If you're wondering who the person in this cover is, or who the Cursed Child is, it is none other than Albus Severus Potter, Harry Potter's son, or second son. He also has another son, James Potter. Anyways, let's start the story. So, it takes place, first off, where the 7th book left off. 19 years later, Harry takes his son to the train station, King's Cross, and he tells Albus the stuff he told him in the last book about the house not mattering if you're a good wizard or not. And then Albus goes on the bus, or train. Rose Granger Weasley becomes continually aggressive with Albus Severus Potter and his friends, because he stumbles upon a Malfoy, Scorpius, who later on become friends, of course, but this is where they first meet, and Rose Granger Weasley is mean and doesn't want Albus to make friends with a Malfoy. But Albus ignores Rose Granger Weasley and becomes friends with Scorpius. And then after that, the next important thing that happens, we fast forward, or actually no, to the eventual sorting ceremony, where Rose Granger Weasley gets sorted to Gryffindor, Scorpius gets sorted to Slytherin, and Albus Potter, gets sorted to Slytherin with Scorpius. Honestly, I kind of expected that, because, I don't know. And he becomes probably the first Potter to ever do so, as most Potters are Gryffindors. James Potter, Gryffindor. Harry Potter, Gryffindor. What else? Harry Potter, Gryffindor. Wait, James Potter, Gryffindor. Harry Potter, Gryffindor. James Potter 2, Gryffindor. And now Albus Potter is finally a Slytherin, and he becomes made fun of, which caused him to be mad. And then we fast forward to about like 2-ish years later. Harry gives Albus his permission for Hogsmeade. He burns the letter entirely, Albus. And then this is the first sign that he becomes an insufferable asshole. And then after that, the next eventful thing happens like about a year later. Harry is distraught that Aunt Petunia dies. It was the last of, Harry's original family bloodline, before he married. And after that, Harry gives Albus his old mother's blanket. Guess what Albus does? He throws it, and the love potion spills on it, and it becomes completely destroyed. And then, after that, the next eventful thing that happens is they go back on the train. But before they do so, they go to the hospital, I think. Or actually, originally how this was worked was, I think Amos paid a visit to Harry Potter about his distraught news of Cedric dying, even though it happened a long time ago, and he blames Harry for it entirely. And then Albus hears it on this conversation, and he devises a plan originally here. And later on, Albus and Scorpius go to Amos's hospital bed, or around where he was in the hospital, his room, and he tells them about the plan. He and Scorpius. Delphi joins in, and Scorpius, Albus, and Delphi, disguised as Harry, Ron, and Hermione, break in, steal a time turner, which is the first big plot hole, since I think all the time turners were supposed to be destroyed by the 5th book. And then after that, they steal it. They go back in time, and then they go to the first task, which is when Cedric was fighting the dragon. Albus disarms Cedric's wand, embarrassing him completely. It changes a little bit because when Albus disarmed that wand, Crumb was blamed for the alleged, disarming of the wand because he was from Durmstrang and they were wearing Durmstrang robes. And then after that, Crumb, I don't know what happened to Crumb, but Ron never got jealous of Hermione, so they never married. Rose Granger Weasley was never a thing. And then after that, they go to the second task, and they completely embarrass Cedric. And then this will later infuriate Cedric, which is pretty much out of character. And then Cedric will become a Death Eater, I don't know why, and kill Neville, which causes a lot of things to change. Like, without Neville, Harry dies, and without Neville, Voldemort wins. And then there's this anniversary day, whatever, Voldemort Day, when Scorpius gets back. Albus is not there because Harry died, thus Albus is never born. And then after that, he meets Snape, and then Snape takes him to Hermione and Ron, dressed all warrior-like, and they try to go to the forest to fix the thing. Snape, Ron, and Hermione, the best part of the story, sacrifice themselves for Scorpius, and then Scorpius goes back to the final task, I believe. Or no, he fixes things. He goes back. And then this is where he finds out that Delphi is the son... not the son. The daughter of Voldemort. Yeah. And Delphi is the daughter of Voldemort because of some new prophecy she made up. And then after that, they go to the final task. Or, no, before that happens, Delphi disarms and breaks Scorpius and Albus's wand, gives them a curse, and then Craig Boyker Jr. listens in or interferes. He gets killed with the killing spell by Delphi. And then they go back to the maze, which is the final task. So that way they can fix what happened in the maze and make Voldemort more stronger. And then she realizes it's a mistake and Cedric disarms her wand when trying to kill Albus or Scorpius. And then after that, I'm trying to think. After the Albus and Scorpius scenario, whatever, Cedric just goes by doing his thing. And then they're stuck in time. And then after that, they go back like 14 years earlier, Godric's Hollow. And this time Delphi wants to kill Harry Potter to make Voldemort stronger. And originally that was her plan, but then she realized it wasn't a good plan. So she tried to stop Voldemort from attacking. That way he would never make that big mistake, which would cause Harry to become stronger. But yeah, basically in here, this is the last time setting they go to. Albus and Scorpius write a message on the blanket encouraging Harry, Ron, Hermione, Ginny, and Ron, and Draco to go back in time to help their sons and, their kids. And then after that, there's a big fight between Harry and Delphi as Harry disguises as Voldemort to try and lure Delphi. And it almost works, and then Harry's hair shows up while in the Voldemort costume, and Delphi notices that that's not Voldemort, that's Harry. And there's a big fight. Delphi disarms Harry with the Elder Wand, and then there's a big battle. Albus frees Ron, Hermione, Draco, and Ginny with the Alohomora spell, and then they all help with Harry in the fight. And then Delphi loses. She begs them to kill her. She doesn't get killed. She just gets sent to Azkaban in the present, I think. And then after that, the ending is Harry and his son go on like a little hill summer trip, and they think that everything will be okay, and that, there's no worries, and that's the end, basically. Now, the stupidest thing they did was go back in time, and the stupidest thing they did was the Delphi being Voldemort's daughter, considering Voldemort did not want to have kids, he did not want to marry, he was incapable of love, and he was a very hateful guy, as described in the 7th book. In all 7 of the books, basically, yeah. He didn't care. He didn't care about anybody but himself and his snake. And he killed a lot of people as well. But, yeah, what else? I did not like that they did not have a line for Neville. That would have been cool if Neville was having at least one line in this story. He did not have a single line, which kind of pissed me off as a Harry Potter fan. But yeah, that was pretty bad. What else was pretty bad? The whole time turner sequence thing. They could have just had like an Adventures of Albus and Scorpius kind of thing, but take place in the present or the years they were in Hogwarts instead of just going back in time and fucking things up. I feel like that wasn't necessary. But yeah, the biggest plot hole, like I said, was the Voldemort daughter thing, because they never mention anything about that in the 7th book, which is around the time they say Delphi was born. But yeah, what else? I'm trying to think of one more thing. Best thing about this book was Snape, Hermione, and Ron's sacrifice to save Scorpius. That was really well executed, and probably the best scene of the book. But I'm gonna give this book a 4.5 out of 10. Actually, no. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 10. It would be getting like a 1 if it weren't for that scene between Snape, Ron, and Hermione sacrificing for Scorpius. Anyways, yeah, that's my rating on this book. It kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, peace.